right, let's try to make the best of the situation. A few things. We're going to talk Cougs, some Rice, some Rockets, or as long as I can, honestly. Um, First things first. L.J. Cryer, Javier Francis, Juwan Roberts, each signed summer league contracts, NBA summer league contracts. LJ's contract a little bit different than JVA's and Juwan's. But let's first, LJ Cryer signs an Exhibit 10 deal with the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, Thursday night last week. After the completion of the 2025 NBA draft, LJ Cryer, guard from the Cougs, signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the Golden State Warriors. Exhibit 10 contracts are non-guaranteed, but include bonuses of up to $85,000 if the player is waived and then spends at least 60 days with his team G League affiliate. In Cryer's case, that G League team would be the Santa Cruz Warriors. Exhibit 10 contracts can also be converted into two-way deals. So Cryer will try to make his case for promotion during Summer League and training camp. Good luck to LJ Cryer as he continues to pursue his dream of being a pro and NBA basketball player. Next to kind of JVA also signed with the Warriors. But as far as I can tell, it's not an Exhibit 10 contract. I think it's just a Summer League contract. Juwan Roberts signed a Summer League contract with the Utah Jazz. Wish them both good luck. So their situation is a little bit different than LJ's. They have to earn their stripes and then hopefully get opted up to an Exhibit 10 deal and then make it to the training camp in September, October. Rex32, thank you very much for that, for commenting, for tuning in. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. And I'm going to make it kind of short and kind of brief just to make sure everything goes well. Neighborhood Wi-Fi is supposed to be better during the show. So who knows? So, not too complicated. How are you as well? Queen Polk, how are you? Thank you as well for chiming in. I think Jay's going to surprise people. He's got long arms. He's an athlete. He's probably more athletic than Juwan Roberts. He's in a pretty good situation if he shows well these early days with the Warriors this month and then get a chance to make it to the team for training camp. The Warriors don't have Kevon Looney anymore. So Jay has a chance, to be a young big and learn and grow through the program. So it's not bad for them. But a reason is I'm going to chime in that I want to focus on all three of these guys. Internet Passport, salute to you as well, brother. Thank you. I'm glad to put a face to the name, courtesy of last Saturday's appearance on The Real Deal. That's a new name, Tom Johns. Thank you. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining the conversation. And I'm going to answer this question from Complicated, as I see it on the right side as well. Juwan hurt his potential by not developing a jump shot. Sure. Most definitely. But he did work on it in practice. He just was never asked to display it in games. And he did kind of cut back on the jumpers at all. I mean, I didn't go to practice as much this past season as I have in previous seasons, but I know he did work on it. He worked on the three-point shot. He just never did it in games. Hopefully, he'll have a chance with Utah to work on his game and do whatever they ask him to do and work on mid-range game, face-up game, mid-range game, out to 15 feet. His rebounding, his smarts, his toughness, his IQ will help him. Will give him a chance. Working on a jumper will increase those chances and those odds to make it to the training camp in September/October. But for Coug fans, another reason why I wanted to discuss these three Cougars, mark your calendars. Rex, Miss Wanda, Passport, Mr. Tom Johns, Complicated. This little FYI, Warriors California Classic Summer League schedule. Saturday, first game against the Lakers can be seen on ESPN2, so you get a chance to see LJ Cryer and JV Francis. Hopefully, they'll get some minutes, get some chance to shine and showcase what they can do, what they've learned so far this week. After Saturday's game, Sunday, July 6th against the Spurs, 5:30 Central Time, NBA TV. Then followed that, July 8th, Tuesday against the Heat Summer League team, 6 o'clock Central on ESPN+. Then, Utah Jazz chance to see Juwan Roberts. Also, first game in the Salt Lake City Summer League Classic this Saturday, July 5th, against the 76ers Summer League squad, 8 o'clock Central Time on ESPN. Next, Monday, July 7th versus the Grizzlies Summer League squad, 8 o'clock Central, NBA TV. And then lastly, July 8th versus the OKC Summer League squad, also 8 o'clock Central Time, and again on NBA TV. So I put those up because those are the first two summer leagues. The California Classic features 4 NBA teams. The Utah Jazz Salt Lake City Summer League Classic also features 4 teams. So those are first. Those two summer leagues starting action this Saturday, July 5th. The one that everybody really knows more about is the NBA Las Vegas Summer League, which will begin next week. And hopefully LJ and Jay will still be with the Warriors and get a chance to play in Vegas. First game for them will be July 11th versus the Blazers Summer League squad, 10 o'clock Central, ESPN2. And all these games for the Warriors, first 3 are at the Thomas and Mack Center, and then the last one will be at the Pavilion. Then Sunday, July 13th versus the Jazz. So Coogs versus Coogs on the 13th. Warriors versus Jazz, LJ and JVA against Juwan, 9 o'clock Central on ESPN2. So mark your calendars for that. Coug fans, Coug alums, Coug supporters. July 15th, Tuesday against the Grizzlies, 9:30 Central on NBA TV. And then July 17th versus the Raptors, 9 o'clock Central on NBA TV. And let me answer this right here. What is Juwan's upside potential as far as player comparison? Oh, wow. Let's think of a hard-nosed, accomplished, and I mean this with a positive, garbage pail player, a lunch pail player, hard worker. So think of somebody like that. Just can get you some rebounds, go in there, scrap, hustle, dive on the floor. I don't think Juwan is going to have an NBA career where he's going to play minutes, but he can get on with the right team that stick because of his toughness and his team attitude. T.I., how are you as well? Okay. Yeah, I posted. There were a few Big 12 players on the Warriors Summer League squad, and he's one of them. I posted on my Threads account as well as on Instagram, Houston Roundball Review. So kudos to Hoops Hype, who has done a good job of keeping track of the Summer League rosters for all the NBA teams. Next, Juwan Roberts, Summer League squad with the Jazz. Friday, July 11th, 6 o'clock on ESPN. 13th, as we know, against the Warriors, 9 o'clock on ESPN2. Ooh, Kevin Willis, that's kind of high. Kevin Willis, much better than a lunch pail, garbage pail player. Much more. He will score. I don't know about Juwan getting a chance to score a lot. July 13th, Jazz Warriors, ESPN2, 9 o'clock. July 14th, against the Spurs, 7:30 Central on NBA TV. And then wrapping it up, July 16th against the Wizards, 9 o'clock on ESPN. So just mark the calendars if you are a diehard basketball fan and want to see some summer league action and see young men pursuing their dreams on that grind to make it to the NBA, make it to the big squad. Take a look at those games and check it out. So let me see. T.I. Well, heck, if he attempts 2 threes, first things first, that would mean it should indicate that Utah has given him the okay to attempt them. And then if he makes them, I think I'll pass out, because NBA 3 is farther than the 3-pointers in college that I saw him attempt in practice. So, hey, but Tom, thank you. Happy for our young Coogs. I hope they all make it. Agreed. I hope they all make it in the NBA. Tom wishes the Rockets would give more Coogs a chance on two-way deals. Well, I mean, there is this thought that if it doesn't work out for Juan, JVA, and LJ, the Rockets could sign them then. So there's that chance as well. As my brother Internet Passport does, he reminds me of this. Like the stream, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Agreed. Yeah. If Juwan Roberts attempts some threes, that would be a plus right there. So, and if they're corner threes, that's fine. That's the shortest 3-pointer in the NBA. Attempt a corner three, that's fine. Because that would mean that the coaches believe in his potential to make them. So that's a start. But okay, but this is another thing. Just a note about Vegas Summer League. Hopefully it'll load here. There we go. This is the Vegas Summer League. Each team will play at least 5 games at the NBA Summer League in Vegas. The first 4 from July 10th through 17th. After each team's first 4 games, the top 4 teams will advance to participate in the playoffs, beginning with a semifinal doubleheader on Saturday, July 19th at 3 o'clock Central, followed by the second game at 5 o'clock Central, both games on ESPN. The 2 winning teams from the semifinal games will meet in any title game on Sunday, July 20th at 9 o'clock Central on ESPN. The 4 playoff teams and their seed 4 playoff games will be determined by winning percentage in each team's first 4 games, with tiebreaker criteria available. Link on the website of NBA.com. The 26 teams that do not advance to the 4-team playoff will play a 5th game on either Friday, July 18th, July 19th, or July 20th. So that's some info on the format for the Vegas Summer League. Everybody's playing 4 games. The top 4 teams that advance to the semifinals and title game for the winners. I don't care about who wins the Las Vegas Summer League. I'm not sure if the players get some bonus money. I don't think anybody does. So if you don't, you're playing for an opportunity at a pro contract, either in the NBA or overseas. Being the champ of Summer League, I don't think that carries much weight with scouts, okay, and other teams. Just an FYI. All right. Well, no, actually, they did announce the Players Era Festival organizers sent the matchups for day 1 and day 2 for the men's event in Vegas, the week of Thanksgiving, sent out the schedules on Monday of this week to the participating teams. If you go to the website, the schedules are not yet posted at playersera.com. I think that's what it is, playersera.com. The schedules are not posted. And also, just go right to the bottom matchup, Maryland and UNLV. Maryland is not yet listed on the Players Era website, but they are in the 2025 Players Era men's basketball event. And let me see how. Okay, I'm just going to say this and I'll get back to it. Texas A&M was included in the 2025 Players Era men's basketball event initially, but once Buzz Williams left A&M to go to Maryland, the Aggies were no longer in the Players Era Festival because Buzz Williams, Coach Williams, had in the contract with the Players Era event that his team that he coaches would be the team participating in the event. Well, since he's coaching Maryland, that means Maryland is now in and the Aggies are no longer in it. So kudos to both Buzz Williams and his agent representation for having that clause included, because that means $1 million for Maryland rather than $1 million for Texas A&M. So back to it. And the numbers, this is from not divided really into pools or groups or anything like that. But you go 2-0, you advance. The points allowed, points scored, point differential will determine if you go to fourth place, third place, second place, first place, all that kind of stuff. I don't know why they're making this complicated. And for next year's event, 26 event, they're hoping to have up to 32 teams competing in the Players Era Festival men's basketball event. And that will have group play. That will be divisioned. So a little bit better organization to everything than, yeah, I know. They didn't think this through. I mean, it's good for the participating team to get paid, getting $1 million as a participating team, and then you earn more money for reaching the championship game. But have some group play. I mean, but it's just, it's the second year of the Players Era event. They're still ironing out wrinkles and the kinks, and hopefully the more it exists, the longer it exists, it'll get better. But as long as the money gets to the schools and the teams, that's the important thing, because it's good competition for the teams, but it's week 3 of the season. It shouldn't make or break any of these 18 teams participating in it. And of course, the 4 teams, women's teams, who are competing Thanksgiving Day through Saturday in Vegas. Texas, UCLA, was it Tennessee and Duke, something like that, those 4. But JoJo is expected to be ready for November. Well, September, October for fall practice. Yes, you should be ready for that. And be ready for the season opener in November. If you haven't seen it, I posted it on Instagram. I haven't heard anything about Caleb Holt yet. I know he's been here more than once. He's visited more than once. And he made a visit, what is this, 2 years ago. And I saw him November, December at a home game. So they got a shot. One of the top 5 players, top 5 guards in the country. So they got a shot. Whereas Quentin Grimes signing, he doesn't really have many options. The Sixers can match the contract offers he's going to get from anybody else. And the only team that have cap space is Brooklyn. So unless Brooklyn gives him a fat offer, he's going to be in Philly. And that's probably not going to be, that won't be his best chance to get paid like Quentin hopes to do this summer. But he'll still be in the NBA. So that's the important thing. So most likely he's going to re-sign with the Sixers. Unless Brooklyn says, Q, we're going to give you $25 million a year. Something like that. Barring that, which I don't think they will, he's going to be with Philly. I can't say about Caleb Holt and all that kind of stuff. If the Coogs are considering him, then I don't know. But I mean, I think he's what, a Georgia kid? I think. So, But I don't know. Some kids, some kids want the money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some kids want the culture and have a chance. If certain folks come back, he might not have a chance to play next year, honestly. But one thing, I think Tran touched on it. I want to mention it. Sam Vecenie from The Athletic, earlier this week, he put together his, I think best way to call it, his NBA draft big board. He called it a mock draft, but it didn't have any teams involved. So it was more of where he thinks his ranking of players for the 2026 NBA draft. And if you haven't seen it on my Instagram account or on Threads or Blue Sky, and I think I might have put it on Twitter, let me just say, he is very high. He thinks very highly of the Cougars. Very high. He's got 4 Coogs ranked in his top 24. 4 for the 2026 NBA draft. 4 in the top 24. Kris Gardner at 14, big fella, freshman. Isaiah Harwell at 19, freshman, 6'5", wing. Joseph JoJo Tugler at 22. And then Milos Uzan at 24. Contrast that to ESPN's draft insiders. They don't have Isaiah Harwell ranked at all and have Los ranked 50th. So Sam Vecenie with Athletic has 4 Cougs, Kris Gardner, Isaiah Harwell, JoJo Tugler, and Milos Uzan. Those 4. 14, 19, 22, and 24. ESPN has Kris said about the same thing. 14, 11 or 14, something like that. JoJo's at 21 and Los at 50. Man. So, I mean, like I said, he thinks very highly of the Cougars for NBA potential or draft potential. But as Mr. Big Texco asked, it doesn't mean anything for college, honestly. It means they have 4 talented players. I mean, it means that. But it means that they have 4 guys who will probably be pros in the NBA. That's what it means. But in terms of college, they got to get it done in college. You know, Los has to do a better job and finish up the season unlike he did in the Final Four. Didn't play well in the Final Four, as we all saw. But you got freshmen, Kris Gardner, Isaiah Harwell. They got to showcase what they can do for Houston. They were very highly ranked, but being ranked in a high school class of 25 poll, that's nice. But you got to get done on the court. And I think they're going to do fine, but who knows? We got to see it. Got to see it and see their talent in action. But, you know, it is a change in the philosophy. Coach Sampson, this year, the Cougs have, according to Sam Vecenie, they got 2 one-and-dones in Kris and Isaiah. Duke had 3 one-and-dones? And Duke had, as you can look at it, depending on your perspective, Duke had 3 top 10 draft picks. But the Cougs beat them in the Final Four. So what will, as Rex says, so this goes back to Mr. Big Texco and the question, Duke had 5 draftees this year with no ring. So the Cougs having 4 draftees doesn't guarantee a ring in college. Nothing at all. It's good for marketing and promotion and going on the recruiting trail. Hey, we got guys who are lottery picks. But from a fan perspective, Coug alum, the supporters want to see the Cougs win the championship, the national championship, win it all. Coug fans are not concerned with how many NBA draft prospects the Cougs have. The Coug fans want the Cougs to win a national championship. If that comes from a team with 0 NBA draft picks, great. If it comes from a Coug team with 2 NBA draft picks, great. Just get it done. Get those 6 wins, March/April, and cut down the nets. So it's different. It's also a thing of it's one and done in tournament. It's not best 3 out of 5. It's not best 4 out of 7. I'm looking forward to how they mesh, how they play. They're talented. They have more NBA talent than last year's team. But last year's team was much more veteran laden than this year's team. So we'll see how it all fits. I don't believe this year's team is going to go with just one loss in the Big 12. Part of that's because of the Big 12 got better in some spots. Part of that is inexperience with the Cougs. I just want them to finish the season with at least a 6-game winning streak. Because they do that, they win the chip. And that's what I want. My old head, that's what I want as a proud UH alum. Complicated states. Coach Sampson is the best coach in college. You could look at it and say, Coach Sampson, what he's done, the job he's done at Houston, much of this has been without NBA talent. So you can cite him and say he's maximizing the talent that he has coached. Some would flip it around and say the most NBA laden team that he had lost in the Sweet 16. Jarris Walker was picked 8th. Marcus was picked 25th. They didn't go far. So it depends on your perspective. Yes, I still am surprised he didn't transfer. But salute to Cordell for sticking it out. He is part of the culture. He competes, and he is a grinder on defense. He makes the other players better by going against them in practice defensively. He gets after them on defense. And salute to his parents. Salute to his people. Because y'all been around college sports long enough. Some parents say, yo, man, why are you staying around here? You're not going to play. Why are you blah, 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 blah. Get into the kid's ear. The kid's gone. And, yep, that's true too. Florida, Duke, Auburn, NBA draft picks. Coogs had none. But they made it to the Final Four. This year's team might have probably 3 or 4 NBA draft picks. But I want them to win the championship. I'm not really concerned about how many draft picks they have. They get to the pros, I'll cover them when they get to the pros. But talk about the Cougars, win the chip. So there's going to be a different kind of pressure on this year's team because it has more NBA talent on it. But that is not a guarantee they're going to win the national championship. It's not a guarantee they're going to win the Big 12 championship. But they're going to have more talent. And I got to put it together. And obviously, injuries are going to be a factor. If they stay healthy, hopefully JoJo's foot will be healed and that issue won't bother him for the season. And then go from there. Oh, let's see. I think Bryce probably is going to redshirt, do kind of what Chase McCarty did last year, redshirt. I think Emmanuel needs to work on his handles and improve his overall game. He might have a shot at being a second-round pick. He's going to get a look as a pro. I think we agree on that. But so, I mean, the Cougs talent level is rising. They got to get that 6th win to win it all national championship. So that is the question. But, we shall see. I'm looking forward to it. I've gone past the bottom of the hour with this great conversation here. Well past it, actually. So let me squeeze this in and remind everybody who's watching on YouTube via the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, as well as on Roku via the BS3 Network. I am proud to be a member of the BS3 family. Going to play this clip to give you a better idea of what BS3 TV / the BS3 Network is all about. And I'll be back in 90 seconds. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, Throwback Thursday, powered by JM&E. I'm, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. We've been discussing the Coogs and their potential NBA draft prospects for 2026. The Coogs, LJ Cryer, Javier Francis, and Juwan Roberts in the Summer League teams. LJ and JVA with the Golden State Warriors, Juwan Roberts with the Utah Jazz. I mentioned the schedules for those guys. So if you missed it earlier, just go back and watch the beginning of the show to get an idea of when they're playing. Both teams, both guys, the Warriors and the Jazz, first Summer League action is going to be this Saturday, July 5th on ESPN. So take a look at that. And now some Rockets and then some Rice Owls. If I can squeeze it in here, these last few moments of this edition of the Takeover. Summer League, Rockets Summer League action, and this is Vegas, okay? The Warriors are currently, July 5th is their first game in the California Classic. So that's 4 Cali teams in that one. Utah Jazz also have their Salt Lake City Classic. So those 2 classics start now. Vegas Summer League starts in a few days next week. Rockets Summer League action, first game for them, July 11th against the Clippers, 9 o'clock NBA TV. July 13th against Detroit, against Ron Holland and Bobby Clinton. Reed Shepherd going against them. That'd be a good test for Reed, how he does against Ron Holland, because Ron Holland's going to try to make Reed miserable. That game will be on ESPN2, 3 o'clock. July 14th against the Hawks, 3:30 on NBA TV. Then Thursday, July 17th against Portland, also on NBA TV. And of course, if the Rockets finish the 3-1, 4-0 record, they'll have a chance to make it to the Final Four and play for whatever. Who cares? Play for the Summer League championship. I don't care about that. Who cares? Whatever. Not too complicated. Are you being serious? Because sometimes you are sarcastic. So Reed Shepherd will dominate Summer League, cementing his position in the Rockets' rotation. I hope he does. He needs to. I hope he does. Okay. Who was it? Last week, Rex, might have been you, Rex, might have been CA37, had a problem. Well, not a problem, but you were not happy with the Houston Cougars non-conference opponents. I think that was part of the discussion. Well, and the home portion of the Cougs' future schedule. Well, this opponent is not a home game. but it is a darn good one for the team on Main Street. Look at that. Rice Owls next year, September 2026, get to make some money and lose at Notre Dame. Future opponent Rice at Notre Dame. How about that? That's kind of interesting. I guess we could say interesting, right? Yes, no, maybe. Good for Rice. Second year for Coach Abel next year. But, I mean, it's Rice, Notre Dame. So, yay. Rice football will face Notre Dame for the sixth time in school history when the Owls travel to South Bend, Indiana to play the Fighting Irish on September 12th, 2026. The game with Notre Dame, which completes the Owls' 2026 non-conference schedule, was announced by both schools today. Rice and Notre Dame have squared off on the gridiron 5 times from 1915 to 2014, with the Fighting Irish winning each of the first 5 matchups. So they'll be 6-0 after the game next year. The series began in 1915 when the Irish defeated Rice 55-2 in Houston, but they did not meet again until 1973 when Notre Dame blanked Rice 28-0 in the only game of the series played at Rice Stadium. The following year, Rice held the Fighting Irish to a season-low 10 points, but that was enough for a 10-3 win thanks to a touchdown with less than 3 minutes remaining. Notre Dame won the most recent meeting 48-17 in 2014. Rice opens the 26th season on September 5th at Houston Christian and will host Western Michigan at Rice on September 19th before wrapping up the non-conference schedule on the road at Fresno State on September 26th. So good for Rice to get a check, get that money, and hopefully don't get too banged up and injured. And you are correct here. Not surprised. Rice plays Texas plenty of times, and when Texas wouldn't play us, yeah. Yeah. No lies told there. Yep. Okay, these closing moments. I am going to, let me see here. I think I might have erased it because I don't see it anymore. That is a shame. Anywho, let me see. Yeah, I guess I deleted it when I had my technical issues. No worries. I can do it from memory. All right. Monday this week, the WNBA announced they were expanding to Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia. Cleveland 28, Detroit in 29, and Philly in 2030. Did not pick Houston. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert mentioned Tillman Fertitta during Monday's press conference, kind of blowing smoke for Tillman and Houston and reminding folks that Houston won the first 4 WNBA championships and Houston is possibly next in line. Blah, blah, blah. Tuesday came out from the Chronicle. My buddy Michael Shapiro, Cron.com, reported that Tillman's bid for an expansion franchise was not close to the $250 million paid by the ownership groups for Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly. Shapiro said the bid wasn't even $200 million. So they weren't even close. Quote from President Business Operations Gretchen Shear for the Rockets, said they're not going to give up. Basketball is huge here in Houston. All the right things. On and on and on. Well, Tran knows where I'm going to go with this, I think. That statement that Gretchen made regarding basketball fans in Houston. Fans in Houston love basketball. Yeah, that's not true, especially when it comes to women's college basketball. Hell, Houston is a pro sports town, especially when the pro teams are winning. Football, Texans, Astros, baseball, Rockets, NBA. When they're winning, they do great with the fans. The colleges don't do so well with the home crowds. Men's teams, women's teams. UH, Rice, Prairie View, Texas Southern. Football doesn't do well. So college basketball doesn't do well. UH men's hoops is the outlier when it comes to great attendance for basketball teams here in H-Town. The folks at the Rockets, and I'll go back a little bit more. I am the last member of media, H-Town media, that covered the Comets. That's still around. Mark Berman's retired. Jenny Dial retired, moved on to another profession. William Stickney retired. I'm the last one. I'm a dinosaur when it comes to the teams that cover the Comets. I'm a dinosaur. Back then, the Comet fans were not fans of the college teams. We're not fans of Houston. Not fans of Rice. And back then, Rice and Houston women's teams were good. Much better than what they are right now, especially Houston. But the fans, neither side did a great job of promoting the other team's product. You will not see Comet merchandise at the college games, and you wouldn't see college merchandise at the Comet games. So there's no synergy there. Tillman Fertitta and his family want to hop on the Caitlin Clark gravy train. That's why he put in a bid for a WNBA franchise. He did not put in a bid close to $250 million. So maybe that indicates his level of seriousness for getting a WNBA expansion team in Houston. Now, there is a chance that the Connecticut Sun franchise will be sold and move, because the Sun ownership, the team is entertaining offers, sale offers. So maybe Tillman, who said in the fall that he did not want a current team to relocate, he wanted an expansion team. Well, now that Houston has been turned down by the league through at least 2030 for an expansion franchise, he said now he's willing to do whatever it takes to get the WNBA to Houston. And apparently that includes maybe getting a relocated franchise. My, how things turn. The worm has turned. But I say all this. If Tillman is truly serious about women's sports, Tran, you know where I'm going. You typed it up in your comments moments ago. Houston Cougars women's basketball for the last 11 years probably would have had a different head coach in that time frame, rather than 11 straight seasons with no trip to the NCAA tournament. Owning a WNBA franchise, you have to have people, the right people in charge, who know what they're doing regarding personnel, marketing, communications, all of that. And know this city. This city is not, you got to win to get fans here. You got to win. And just saying it's basketball, it's WNBA, come see us, that's not going to work. I am one of the few, if not the only, member of the media who covers, reports, discusses all of the Houston area women's college teams. HCU, PV, Rice, TSU. Even though, check out these numbers. Average attendance for Houston Christian last year, 331. 331. For Houston, 892. Average attendance. Average. Prairie View, 162. Rice, 778. Texas Southern, 798. That's average home attendance for all of those teams. You add all of those averages up, you get 3,000, roughly. The expansion WNBA franchise, the Golden State Valkyries, average home attendance this season is 18,000. So, Tillman and your family and your people, if you are serious, truly serious about a WNBA team in Houston, step up your game. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel and also on Roku via the BS3 Network. Salute to Tran, Not Too Complicated, Mr. Johns, CA37, Miss Wanda, Rex, for your comments and your questions. I always appreciate your input and your insight. Probably the next Rocket show will be this Saturday, hopefully. We might talk might be an NBA show. We might talk about how LJ Cryer and Juwan and JV did in their first Summer League game. Might do that. So just click on the bell so you can receive notifications when the next show is available on the channel. And also hit the like button. Spread the word about these shows. Spread the word about the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this show. We're going to do it again next Thursday. Going to do a show on Saturday. Probably another show on Sunday for folks talking sports. So that's going to wrap it up. As my brother makes fun of me with my conclusions, it's all good. Yeah, unfortunately, it's been about that long. It's been about that long. But since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.